Hey Jana, happy Tuesday. I hope your week has been good. I'm sorry this video is late, but Jana, you know that I love books, and I know that you love books, and we just like everyone should love books because books are just great. But that's my topic for today. It's love books. But books seem to always be better than the movies, and I'm a little confused as to why. Well, I'm actually not confused as to why because I know why. But that's what I'm gonna describe. Anyway, you saw Divergent, I saw Divergent, you liked it, I thought it could have been better, but I liked it. Overall, I liked it, that was good. But, seriously, like, I've not read a book, I've not seen a movie that has been better than the book that I've read that it has been adapted from. That was kind of confusing, but I hope you caught on. But yeah, like, why is that? I'm gonna tell you. Okay. Books are just so awesome because, like, you open a book and you're, like, in a whole other life. You're reading about a whole other circumstance. You're sometimes in a whole other world. Sometimes you're in the future. Sometimes in your past. Sometimes, it's so great. And, I think that when I just read something that's just, like, really well phrased, I just, like, my heart melts a little bit. Like, I'm the person that if I see something that I really like, or if I'm reading something that I think is really beautiful, I will set it down and just be like, wow, like, I love things that make me feel, and I think books are the best thing to make you feel, because, you're in another person's life, or you're in another circumstance, and, like, I feel like books teach you a lot about other things or other circumstances, but they also teach you a lot about yourself. And, like, when you're reading a book, you can, imagine how you would handle a certain circumstance, or you can, get in touch with how you're feeling about something that's happening. And I just think that's so cool, and I think nothing else can really do that better than reading. Now, you know that I love movies too. Like, I love movies. I think my ideal day in, like, life would just be sitting on my couch and watching a movie. That makes me sound really lazy, and I promise I'm not lazy. I just really like movies. And I think there's kind of a connection between that, because in movies you're watching someone live their life, and in books you're reading through someone else's life. And I think it's kind of interesting that I'm, like, really obsessed with other people's lives and other people's stories and not so much my own. Maybe that just means my life is boring. I don't know. I think books are a lot better at connecting with your characters. When you're reading something and seeing it through someone's eye, well, this is kind of dependent if the story's told in first or third person, but I feel like when it's told in first person, it's incredibly difficult to capture that on screen, because in first person, you're, like, living the story through that person's eyes, and you're seeing them exactly how things are unfolding, and you're in their head, and, like, you're, like, just with them every step of the way. Everything that they're thinking, you're thinking, because you're reading it through them. And in third person, it's a little bit different, because, it's kind of more omniscient feel, but, even then, you just get so much more of the story, because books are way more descriptive than movies, because, the movie is a visual, and, the book is itself, it's a descriptive way to tell a story. And so I think it's really hard for movies to kind of to lock down on that and really get something that's really just as moving as the books. And that's, another thing. I think in books, you'll read a passage or read something, and it's just like, oh my god, that's beautiful. Like, it's just beautifully phrased because there's so many talented writers out in the world. But in movies, that doesn't always come across, because, the movies is more focused on, relating the story, whereas I think the book is more related to, giving you a message. And I think it's really hard for movies to capture that. For example, there are, like, multiple passages in Fault in Our Stars. That's coming out June 6th. Super excited. Love John Green. He's everything to me. But, that movie's coming out June 6th, and there are so many passages in The Fault in Our Stars that are literally just breathtaking, like, so beautifully phrased, so just feeling and moving. And I don't know how that's going to translate on screen, because the beauty of that book is in more of, the way I thought. It was more in the way it's written, and how Hazel perceives things, and how Hazel perceives Augustus and, like, their relationship. And I don't know how you're going to get that on screen. I'm actually really nervous for the movie, because I don't want it to ruin the book, because the book is so beautiful. I don't think the movie is going to live up to it, and that's just really sad. Plus, movies are really stupid because, like, they change really stupid details. Like, in Divergent, frickin' Tris tells Tobias she loves him when that's, like, doesn't even happen until the second book, and it's a huge big deal. And then she, like, when they're kissing,
I don't want to go too fast.
Excuse me, like, go puke in a bucket. Like, oh my god, that just no. Okay. Other than that, like, and she doesn't even say Tobias. Like, Oh, I am
Use
so
his name
angry.
now.
Use his name. And then, like, Peter never stabs Edward's eye out, which was, like, a really cool scene in the book, and that doesn't even happen in the movie. Like,
It doesn't sound very good.
but, like, Edward's not even, like, introduced in the movie, and it's like, hello, he's, like, an important character. And then, like, My Sister's Keeper. I haven't read it. I'm not a really Jodi Picoult fan. No, not for me. But, like, they killed the wrong sister in the movie. Like, you're confused. Harry Potter, he never even fixes his wand. Like,
One goddamn job.
One job, Harry. Like, are there any other movies that really mess up? I'm sure there are a lot. I just can't. Those are what I think of off the top of my head. Okay. Jana, you saw Paper Towns as being turned into a movie, which I think is really cool because, like, Paper Towns and John Green, and he's everything. That makes me a little nervous, though, because there again, I just don't want them to ruin the book. Like, this is kind of exciting because, like, I feel like they're touching on young adult literature. So, hey, our movies, or wait, I messed that up. Our books could be made into movies. Like, that's exciting. But I don't know if I want that because I totally just trashed books being turned into movies, and now I'm like, oh, JanMarie, you're stupid. Okay, well, JanMarie out. Love you. Okay, bye.